Shalom and good evening to you, other friends. L'chaim, to life. Actually, my friend Archie, I call him Mr. Nemesis, he gave this to me. He said it's good to replenish your hydrochloric acid in your stomach by drinking hydrochloric acid. So he gave me some hydrochloric acid. What a swell guy. Mr. Nemesis, Archie Nemesis, what a nice guy. You know what? I'll drink this a little bit later. I just put it safely there. So today we're going to talk about, domino effect and what that has to do with unintended consequences. For instance, the domino effect, you have a cause and effect sequence. One thing happens, let's see how this works, okay? Alright, so you have a cause and effect, a domino chain reaction, if you will. Oh, let's try it again over here. So I go, oh, by the way, here's Red Dog. He's going to be joining us today. Hi, Red Dog! Yes, it makes sense because he's a blue fish. So here, hey, let's try it again. Let me get. I spilled hydrochloric acid on Red Dog. Red Dog, are you okay? Can anybody get hydrochloric acid out of the water? Call a fish doctor. Hurry, somebody. Okay, I may have overreacted just a little bit there, but I love Red Dog so much. Or is it Tobias? I don't know. Anyway, I bought this fish a couple weeks ago. It was meant to be. Hi, my name is, oh, yeah, here we are. Philip Fanson. And this is Virtual Biology, Union Freshman Academy, but it's on the interwebs, so yeah. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the unintended consequences in ecology, especially. But what is an unintended consequence? Well, did I intend to spill hydrochloric acid into Red Dog's aquarium? that would be silly. It'd be like, would I orchestrate that? I mean, come on, that's just crazy. Anyway, okay, unintended consequences. So with the cause and effect of dominoes, okay, a domino, you have a chain reaction or a cause and effect. So you have a cause and you have an effect. Okay, so in life we have cause and effect. We go to the drive-thru, we go to the taco place and get a whole bunch of refried beans. Get a nice filled up meal. Well, that's the cause and the effect. The unintended consequence is that beans, they're good for your heart. The more you eat them, the more you get smart. Anyway, okay, so the unintended consequence is later when people avoid you and kick you out of the house. And not that it's ever happened to me. Okay, so we're going to look at ecology. Now, ecology this week is an interesting thing. We kind of, biology. At the beginning of the year, we looked at bio. Bio means life, and then ology is the study of life. All right. Well, ecology, again, the ology, the study of, and eco is actually Greek for house. So it's a study of the house. It's a study of the domicile or the structures of a home. All right. So if you think about ecology, this planet we're on is our home. All right, so the study of ecology is the study of our homes. What we're going to look at in this video, the scavenger hunt you're going to do, is looking for unintended consequences and how that relates to ecology. And we're going to, one of the two things you're going to look for is how it relates to the coronavirus and the coronavirus response. All right, and then the second link you'll find is something of your own choosing, having to do with ecology and something in ecology. There's a lot of stuff out there. A domino effect, you have one cause and then you have multiple effects. And I'll put some links in the description of just some cool, I used to watch these with my students, these domino rallies, and we had dominoes, we'd create different cool stuff, and it was kind of fun. But these domino rallies, you can have one domino falls over, and then you have thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dominoes being affected. Now, unintended consequence is when something happens that you do a purposeful action here, but then there's an effect here that you didn't foresee. Like, for instance, hydrochloric acid on Red Dog. Please forgive me. Will you ever forgive? He doesn't know who I am. So your scavenger hunt. is going to be 2. You're going to find 2 links, and you're going to put them in the text box. And after each link, give us a brief description of that link. And then you just submit it, and that'll go to your teacher. Okay. So the scavenger hunt is to find. Now, so you're going to find 2 examples of unintended consequences. Now, one of those, let's make it the first one just for the sake of, so that teachers don't have to kind of look everywhere. The first one is a response related to an unintended consequence of the coronavirus and the coronavirus quarantines. Okay. And then the second one can be a second one along that line, or it can be anything in nature. I'll give you some examples so you know what kind of to look for. I'm not going to give you links because that's going to be your job. Okay, but like with the coronavirus, there's been some unintended consequences. Right? For instance, and some of these are quite positive. All right. One thing with businesses shutting down, especially plants and so forth, there has been less pollution. All right. And in China, after they were the first ones to quarantine, so some of the satellite images before the quarantines and after, it shows a remarkable decrease in pollution. Now, how long will that last? Well, that's a good question. Probably not that long. But it is interesting when they pulled back on factories, the pollution went down. Now, you could then, of course, argue, the economics, and we're not going to get into that. But in this idea of an unintended consequence of the quarantine was that pollution went down, carbon emissions and so forth. Another example going around Facebook and the internet and webs is Venice. Venice in Italy, with the quarantines in Italy. The water is not necessarily cleaner. Some people are like, it's clean. No, it's not necessarily cleaner. That takes a little more than a couple weeks or a couple months. But it's clearer because there isn't as much traffic in the water stirring up the water. So because of that, they can see dolphins and swans and fish. And so you can find some links to this. So that's kind of interesting. Those are kind of positive. A negative is everybody's kind of freaking out and using bacterial. Not freaking out, it's okay. But we're all responding, buying TP, right? So there's an unintended consequence. The coronavirus is a respiratory virus, and everybody's getting TP for like dysentery or something, which it's not. But anyway, so that could be something. You could find some links on the toilet paper supply and how a reaction to coronavirus sparks this. That might be an interesting thing. Now, with bacterial and antiseptic and these kind of things, cleaning solutions and stuff, these went off the shelves fast. Somebody offered me $1,000 for this the other day, and I said no, hands down, because I'm the best teacher. Sorry, all you other teachers. It's on the bottle, so can't argue. But anyway, so antibacterial stuff, one of the unintended consequences of everybody really focusing on hygiene and Uber is this stuff, when we use it, eventually the cleaning solutions and so forth goes into our water supply, and then as it goes downriver and into our rivers and streams, the more of this stuff we use, one of the unintended consequences, so if you're welcome to find some articles on this, I'd be very curious as well. So as these chemicals go downstream, they're meant to keep us safe and kill bad bacteria. Well, they're actually killing good bacteria, which is at the base of one of the food pyramid. Is you have your producers, your bacteria, algae, of course plants and so forth. They're capturing the sun's light, turning it into sugars, and then you have things on the next level up eating those, and bacteria and protists and amoebas and stuff. And then you have minnows eating that, and then you have primary, secondary, tertiary consumers, and then of course your apex predators. Well, if the chemicals are being washed downstream and is actually having an effect. Now, how big is that effect? Again, probably similar with the pollution in China. It's a temporary thing. It should fix itself, but not always. And there are a number of great examples. Macquarie Island is an interesting example of unintended consequences, where they took an island and sailors put rabbits on it and cats and all this kind of stuff to rabbits in case sailors got stranded. They could have food. Well, then the rabbits breed, and it gets lots of rabbits. Like the Smokey Bear effect is interesting. And people are so afraid of forest fires. Well, people started building, especially in California and in the West, they don't want fires, right? So they prevented naturally occurring forest fires that would occur every 10 years or so. And they would prevent those. Well, the problem is those forest fires were actually good because they didn't get hot enough to burn the big trees. They would just burn the underbrush, right? And they would replenish the forest floor and so forth. Well, now with people living in the forest and homes and stuff, they prevent fires at all costs. So when fires do break out, they are much worse because now you have a whole bunch of undergrowth, and the forest fires get so intense that they actually burn down these very big, large trees these large trees would have survived a normal, regular forest fire. So that's called the Smokey Bear effect. So that's something to look into. So you have a lot of these different, in China, they had, during the Cultural Revolution, they had the Four Pest campaign, which is fascinating, so you can look into that. Mao Zedong was like, well, we got to get rid of mice and a couple other things. One was sparrows, because sparrows eat the seeds. Well, so they get rid of all the sparrows. Well, the sparrows also kept the insect population in check. But they get rid of this bird that they thought was a vermin, all right? They get rid of it, and then they end up having huge locust plagues that consume crops. And a lot of people ended up dying, not just from that, but a lot of the different things in the Great Leap Forward. I said Cultural Revolution, I meant Great Leap Forward. So those are some other ecological effects. So your job of the scavenger hunt is to look at unintended consequences and their effects in ecology. And again, sometimes they're good, sometimes not so good, all right? But to see that, one of those links needs to be about the coronavirus and our response to it. These are the things that we have to weigh when does a cure outweigh the thing it's trying to prevent, right? So the unintended consequences, this plays in life all the time, so something to pay attention to. We notice these consequences, but it's the things down the way, 3, 4, 5, 10 moves down the way. These are the things that kind of come to bite us, and so we have to pay attention to this. And ecology is a really good way of, we do something here, and it affects our environment here, and we don't really see that when we're here. So we have to think a number of steps ahead. All right. So that's your scavenger hunt. What you'll do is find 2 links, put them in the text box and submission box, give us a brief summary of the links, and then submit that to your teacher, and you're all set. Shalom.